And we're back.
Week 10 preview Thursday night, Falcons at Panthers. If they can live up to that last game, this will be awesome. If not, we won't get this 3 hours of our lives back. I expect Mariota, Algier, Patterson, Pitts, and London can all do well here, just like they did in the last one. I'm expecting a big bounce back for the Panthers, like Donta Foreman and DJ Moore. I don't know if we'll get PJ or if we get Baker, but I'm expecting big points.
Who you taking?
I'm gonna take the Panthers at home.
Okay. Who's gonna be your bust out, Tom?
Oh God. Give me Donta Foreman, I guess. I'm gonna take my busted. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Cordero Patterson.
Okay. Tobin, who you taking?
Falcons. Falcons. We used to do jumping jacks to that in high school at Heights, so I can spell Falcons pretty well. I've got the Falcons, I think, on the road. I think they're just a little bit better than the Panthers. I think the Panthers, too, are aiming now squarely at a very high draft pick, and they're okay with that.
Who's going to suck worse, the Colts or the Panthers the rest of the year?
It's going to be a race.
Ooh.
The Raiders might throw their hat in that ring here pretty quick, too.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd put my money on the Colts sucking a lot worse.
I don't know. We'll see. We got Saturday coaching on Sundays now, so anything can happen.
Your bust out player.
Busted. I'm going Tyler Algier. I think.
As your bust out or busted?
Bust out. I think even with Patterson back last week, started really carrying more of that load. I think you're going to start seeing that transition. If they're smart, they start getting Patterson back out in the slot and using him like that, using him at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you've got London, you've got Pitts, you've got Patterson, you've got a few weapons there now.
You do.
I don't know if they're that smart, but we'll see. So Algier, Arthur Smith has proven he will run the damn ball. So I'm going to go with the guy he's going to run the damn ball with. My busted, I'm going to go QB1 Panthers. I don't care which one it is. That quarterback room's like a turd in a punch bowl right now.
You could say that again.
There's talk it may even be Darnold.
Yeah, Darnold is supposedly getting some run. They want to find out whether he has anything in the tank for next year and whether they want to re-sign him or not.
Yeah, they just cut Eason off the practice squad now that Darnold's back. So,
yep.
Yeah, revolving doors. Spin that, baby.
I'm with Tobin. I'm taking the Falcons to win this game. I think the Falcons are looking at the playoffs going, you're saying there's a chance. There's a chance. They're currently tied for first, which means they're in the hunt.
Yeah, that's true.
In the division that nobody wants to win.
And it's not exactly like any team in that division is actually playing well at this point in time. My bust-out player is going to be Pitts. I think he's going to have a big game just like he did last time against them. My busted is any quarterback for the Panthers. I mean, they turned the punch bowls being way too polite. Way too polite.
I was trying to keep it so I didn't have to check that it had explicit language in the podcast.
And I think this is going to be a fun game to watch offensively. As I think they're going to go up and down the field like crazy and make the scoreboard light up like a pinball machine, which means it's probably going to be 8-6. Since we've all three said the exact same thing. Okay, the next game on the list is Chargers at the 49ers. Tobin, who you taking?
Niners by 1 million. Yeah, my bust out player, spell it with me, folks. CMC. Get used to saying that one. Busted. The reason it's CMC is the Chargers can't stop the run. They don't even pretend to stop the run. He may do the trifecta again this week. Run one, catch one, throw one. Hell, he might kick this week. I don't know. But my busted is going to be Herbert, just simply because he has nobody to throw the freaking ball to.
Okay. Well, I am with Tobin again. I'm taking the 49ers to win this game, and I don't think it's going to be that close. I think the 49ers are getting healthy. 49ers are getting physical. They're more physical than what the Chargers are. I think they're going to impactfully just dominate the game physically and just beat the living tar out of the Chargers, no matter what Herbert does, although I think Herbert will have a good game. My bust-out player, CMC. I don't think there's anybody else in this game that's going to be the star of the game like CMC is going to be. The busted player of the game, can you pick me a Chargers wide receiver?
You can't even name them.
You can't name one.
I can name them.
I can too.
Palmer, DeAndre Carter.
Yeah.
Maybe Keenan Allen.
I don't think that any of them are going to have any type of game, so I'm just going to put Chargers wide receiver for the busted.
I just want to know how a dude that gets shot 4 times comes back faster than a dude that pulled a hammy. Come on, man.
I don't disagree. Tom, who are you going with?
Well, I don't care if Keenan Allen plays, Michael Williams comes back and plays, or if LT came back. This is a 49ers win. It's not going to be close. I do expect CMC to go bananas. I'll go ahead and take Debo as my bust out. I think that this is going to be some weird ass Debo CMC game. And this could be the one where CMC runs up the yardage, but Debo gets the touchdowns. If you have him, you probably have to start Eckler. I'd rather not. Same with Herbert. I'm going to go ahead and give Justin Herbert my busted. And good luck, Chargers.
Okay. I'm going to skip me for a second. Tom, Commodes and the Eagles, who you taking? I always try to give you your team as the first picker for your team. So
EAGLES, Eagles.
Wow, you fired up that even fired up the
man.
dog.
The dogs got into
Hell,
that.
The deaf dog even heard that.
Man, how impactful was that?
Now, Chase Young might be back for this one. He's supposed to practice this week.
So you're saying there's not a chance.
But this is going to be a one-sided affair. Jalen already killed us this year to Devontae Smith. That's just going to wash, rinse, repeat. I love him. I love AJ. Goddard. Maybe Sanders. We don't usually give up a bunch of rushing yards, so I don't think that that's going to be the way they kill us. For the Commodes, somebody's going to step up, but I don't know whether it's going to be McLaurin or Samuel or Gibson. I like Gibson only because Damian Pierce killed him on the ground. Oh, play Eagles D. I'm going to say AJ Brown kills us.
As your bust out?
He's my bust out. And then I'll go ahead and throw Heineke back under the bus and make him the busted.
Okay, Tobin, who you got?
I've got the Eagles as well. We're going to try and give them the trifecta jinx, I'm hoping.
Okay. We're going to. I got
it worked on damn near everybody this year, so we're going to try that.
As well, so they're pretty much screwed.
We're going to try it really. In fact, we may just pick them the rest of the season just to make sure it happens. We could probably pick up a sponsorship from the 72 Dolphins for that.
We probably could.
I'll see if I can get some of those guys to come on us. Some
bottle of champagne or something like that.
Yep. My bust out player is Jalen Hurts. So good. He owns you guys.
Oh,
he owns you guys.
He does.
He's got the weapons.
We tried to collapse some railing. And
you tried to kill him with the damn stadium and couldn't even affect him. So yeah, it's not going to be good. Heineke is my busted. I wish the guy could get him some more Jordans, but I don't think it's happening at the link.
Not going to have green and white ones.
Not a chance.
I too am taking the Eagles for the trifecta, which means they're pretty much screwed along with the 49ers. So we have 2 definite losses so far this week. I'm taking Miles Sanders as my breakout. I think that he's going to have a good game. I think they're going to want to control the ball, get the game over with as quickly as possible, run the ball, go forward from there. I too have Heineke as my busted player of the week. Although the real bust-out player of the week is probably going to be the DA in Washington when they gives the report tomorrow on the Redskins.
Absolutely.
Okay, since we skipped you, we're going to come back to me. Seahawks versus the Bucks. I'm taking the Bucks. Really don't want to, but the main factor of what made my decision this game is the teams traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast don't do real well in early games. And because of that, that's why I'm taking the Seahawks to lose and the Bucks to win.
But remember, this isn't on the East Coast. This is in Germany. This is the first game in Germany.
That's even further.
So I'm not sure if they flew over the North Pole or not.
Guaranteed they did. Yes. 100%. Right over the top.
Yep. But I'm still taking the Bucks. Bust out player of the game. I'm going to go with Leonard Fournette. I think he's going to have more reception yards than rushing yards. And I think that's going to be the deciding factor in the game. The busted player of the game. I hate to take DK, but I think it's going to be DK just because I don't think that he's going to be able to. I don't think he's going to have good of a game. I can't tell you why. I just don't think he's going to. Tom?
Well, I just want to reiterate, this is the early game. This is the
early game.
The ESPN Plus game, I think is what
They're doing that crap again.
at 9:30 from Germany. Of course, it probably means that it's like
It's like
3 p.m. there or
3:30
something like
their
that.
time.
Brady definitely should have retired, but this is an up and coming Seahawks team. We talked about it earlier. Pete Carroll could be coach of the year. I don't like Walker as much this week. A great test against this tough run D. I think DK is too much to handle for this overmatched Bucs secondary right now. And I'm really interested to see how the Bucs perform against this underrated Hawks D, which basically shut down Kyler Murray after the first drive.
Mm-hmm.
My busted player, I'm going to go with Leonard Fournette.
Okay. And who's going to win the game?
I'm sorry. I'm going to go with the Bucs. I probably should go with the Seahawks.
Okay,
I'm going to go with the Bucs.
Your bust out.
My bust out is going to be Tommy Brady in the first game. Just another notch in his belt of things that he does. The first game in Germany, Tom Brady does it. He gets the first win. He's most passing yards, blah, blah, blah.
Okay,
Do they
Tobin.
give away like a big ass stein full of beer for the MVP of this game?
I'm sure they do
Because
something
if they
like
don't,
that.
they freaking should.
Yep.
2 million ticket requests.
Wow.
Okay. Tobin, who you taking?
I mean, at least Germany got a little bit better game. I mean, that last London game was a turd in the punch
Well,
bowl.
this was a
Broncos,
turd-
Jags. This one's not much above that.
2 months ago, this was the turd to punch bowl.
Yeah.
This is actually a productive game now.
This is almost a do or die for the Bucs.
ESPN is missing the boat trying to force people to pay for their ESPN Plus subscription on this crap, though.
I don't disagree.
I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there.
I'm tired of subscription services.
Well, you get it when you get Disney Plus.
And, Disney doesn't have my address to send me something yet, so I'm sure we'll figure out if anybody's listening to this damn thing. Hello, is this thing on? All right, so I've got the Bucs winning in Germany. I'm gonna go with Tom Brady to go 2-0 post divorce. Single dude, he's gonna just light Germany on fire.
Brady got his groove back.
Brady got his groove back. Busted. I'm gonna go with Walker here. Traditionally, that's a soccer pitch. It's going to be a little bit slower. It's going to be sloppy. Running backs seem to struggle on that a little bit. So I'm going to go Walker, and that Bucs D in front seven is still fairly formidable. So,
Okay, Tobin, Vikings at the Bills.
all right. God damn.
It's a good game. Tough one
Hold
to pick.
on. Let me
not knowing-
text Josh Allen and
not knowing Josh Allen's-
see when that Tommy John's. Actually, let me text Dr. Andrews, who usually performs that for all the big names, and see when he's got him slotted in. I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna take the Vikings on the road here.
Okay.
I think even if Allen is hurt, I mean, if he hurt that as bad as it looked, he's going to be operating at 50, 60% at best. So I think that limits his explosive plays down the field more than anything. So I think the Vikings win that. I'm bust out. I'm going to take Jefferson just because I'm going to take him until somebody proves they can stop him. I mean, I think maybe 2 games in a row early in the season, teams actually shut him down for a minute, but he's back. He's a bad man. And busted.
I'm not sure defenses shut JJ down.
It's Cousins.
But Cousins.
It's Cousins. It's primetime lights. It's Monday night. You're dead on with that. My busted, I'm gonna go Diggs just because I don't think Josh Allen's gonna be consistently able to hit him on the deep ball, and that's where Diggs opens it up. He gashes people 4 for 90. He's not a 13 catches to get 100 yards.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take the Bills. I think the Bills are.
Is that what he has written down there, or did he just switch because I took the Vikings?
Who knows?
I have the Bills written down here.
All right.
I just think the Bills are going to get the job done. Kirk Cousins in spotlight doesn't perform well, and this is going to be the game of the week. This is going to be the one everybody's going to be looking at for see where things go. And Cousins does not perform well in those. He's going to be a busted player of the week.
It's a noon game in freaking Buffalo.
Yeah,
Nobody's really
everybody's going to
watching.
be watching it because they want to see Allen plays and are the Vikings for real and are the Bills for real. That's why I think Cousins is going to fade like he usually does at this point in time. My bust out, I'm going to take Gabe Davis.
Interesting.
An even bigger explosive player.
Tom?
Man. Do I want to pick up a game on Tobin or Doc?
Well, you ain't catching me, brother, so maybe you better worry about the guy sitting beside you first.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So one of the things I shared with Tobin when I walked in was that this game opened at 9.5, minus 9.5 Bills to Vikings. It's now down to minus 3.5.
Yeah, the sharps jumped on that real fast.
Yep. So I am going to take the Vikings here. I'm not going to be shocked that the Vikings upset win this. I think it's going to be Case Keenum under center. I'll go ahead and take Buffalo quarterback, thinking primarily it's going to be Case Keenum as my busted player here. And for my bust out, I'm going right back to TJ Hawkinson. I don't think the Bills stopped Travis Kelce.
Nobody stopped Travis Kelce.
No.
And if they couldn't slow him down, I don't think they're going to be worrying as much about TJ Hawkinson either, even after what he did last week. Their main focus is going to be on what they see as their equivalent to Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson, and Jefferson's way better than Diggs, I think.
I don't think there's any doubt.
And so I think they're going to concentrate on that and leave Hawkinson wide open, thinking that he can't run away from their safeties, but I think he can run over them.
Yeah. I was really tempted to go look at Cook and Madison as well as potential bust outs here because I see both of those guys as weapons out of the backfield on the swing pass. And that's something I think Buffalo might be exposed. I mean, run that to the Von Miller side, loop him out, throw it right where he came from.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, they're also the bigger backs. And remember how Derrick Henry is. I mean, Derrick Henry is the biggest back, but they're 20 pounds lighter than him, almost the same height. They can run power right at Buffalo.
Yeah, and that's their Achilles heel.
Yeah.
How'd that work for Tennessee game 2 of the week of the season? Oh, it didn't.
Oh,
Yeah, but it worked pretty
but
interestingly.
it was also at Buffalo instead of in Nashville, where it probably would have worked.
I mean, a depleted Packers team played a pretty robust second half in Buffalo against that defense.
Aaron Jones had 143 yards.
Yeah.
Okay, Cowboys at the Packers. I get to go first on this one because, you went first last time. And I'm taking the Cowboys. I don't think there's any way you can take any Packers. I don't think the Packers. I can't think of a single fantasy player for the Packers that I would take this week.
A single what?
Fantasy player for the Packers that I would start this week. Name one.
If you've got him, probably with bye weeks and things like that, you could start Lazard. But other than that, I agree. There's nobody else I'd start.
Okay. My busted player of the week, A-Raj. Until proven otherwise, A-Raj is not good. Never thought I'd say that about A-Raj. I mean, if this is his I don't give a crap attitude causing this, it might be able to come back. If Father Time caught up with him, boy, I'd hate to be the Packers paying that contract the next 2 years. My bust out player of the game, Pollard. I think Pollard's going to run the ball. He has the speed with which to get around the corner and get where he needs to be at. That offensive line is going to be there and just maul the Packers. They don't have to throw the ball. Tom?
Yeah, I'm going to co-sign that the Cowboys win this thing running away. I'd say you can watch them go to Lambeau and boat race these crappy Packers. Raj is playing like a chump. The Dallas D is going to get after him. If I could somehow fantasy-wise single out, I guess in an IDP I could, my bust out would be Micah Parsons. He's going to live in the backfield. He will have 3 sacks. I'm expecting no Aaron Jones. Obviously, we're not going to have Romeo Dobbs. My busted, I'd go right there with you with Rodgers. If I'm not going Rodgers, I'd go AJ Dillon as the starter because he just can't. He's not going to be able to get anything done against Dallas.
Okay.
My bust out, Dalton Schultz. Note, remember they've lost Devondre Campbell, they've lost Rashawn Gary. They are hurting at linebacker.
Yep. Tobin.
Yeah, I too. Trifecta. I've got the Cowboys. I don't know how you can pick the Packers in this one. It's not going to be pretty. I mean, what's the line on that thing? It's only 4.5, so effectively 7.5 on the road. Over under 43. Cowboys might do that on their own. That might be the only way you get to 43. This might be 33-10. About the only way you can get to 43, I think, in this one. Pollard's my bust out. He's going to do whatever he wants. The problem here is they may be up by 2 touchdowns plus the end of 3, and you start mixing in some other guys.
If it was in Dallas, I'd take Pollard. On the carpet, he's going to scoot. Only because it's on the grass in Lambeau. I don't think he's going to be as effective.
I think the choice routes and the swing routes are going to be where he sets it apart. They're going to get to him on the edge, and it's not going to matter.
I agree with you completely.
Busted Rodgers. I mean, the only question for me is, what's the over-under? Can I get a line from Vegas on the over-under on how many times he's going to pout, whine, cry, and bitch about his wide receivers not reading his mind?
When it's his fault throwing the ball.
Because I think I would set the number at
20.
We'll start at a dozen.
Okay.
Just to see, conservatively. We'll start at a dozen and see where it goes.
9.5.
Well, the problem is we're going to need to get an ISO feed from the network so we can watch him consistently, because if we did, it'd be 50. Well, I guarantee there will be one, but I don't have the ability to only zero in and watch just that feed. So I only kid about 1 out of 3 of those probably. So.
Okay, Tom, next game, Cardinals at the Rams.
I've got the Cardinals here. The Rams won the first one. The Cards are going to come back and get this one, even if it's John Wofford versus Colt McCoy. D-Hop's the big difference here. They've got nobody that can contain him. Connor should be back to normal. He looked much better last week. I mean, you, like Doc says, you can't totally shut down Kupp, but if he doesn't have Stafford throwing the ball, I don't think it's going to matter, even without Buda Baker there to get him.
He said Buda Baker.
Buda Baker's out with a high ankle.
Who's your bust out?
My bust out's going to be D-Hop.
And you're busted?
My busted is going to be, I'm going to go ahead and bust Kupp.
Wow.
Okay, Tobin.
Because everybody will be expecting so much.
Quarterback's a wild card in this one, but I'm still going to take the Rams. I think they're going to be able to manage this just enough. I'm going to go bust out. I think it's going to be Henderson. I think Henderson's going to be able to run the ball against that front 4 of the Cards. I think they're going to have to, especially with the backup quarterback in. Busted. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to say Hopkins. Just because it's going to be interesting to watch that matchup with him and Ramsey. Those two go at it.
Yeah, but Ramsey's
like brothers.
Ramsey's a shell of himself.
I agree. But Hopkins is 31 as well, so it's going to be an interesting matchup.
Okay. Well, I've got the Cards. Tommy and I are going to hopefully pick up a game on you at this point in time. I've got Connor as my bust-out player of the game. I think he's going to be the difference in the game. He's going to probably vulture a couple of touchdowns after D-Hop gets him close. My busted player of the game is going to be Stafford. If he plays, if he doesn't play, I'll still go with the LA quarterback. Okay, the next game on the list is the Broncos at the Titans. I'm taking the Titans to bounce back and win.
No.
You're kidding.
I know, shocker, isn't it? Well, I took the Chiefs last week.
Strange.
True.
I think the Titans are going to physically just maul the Broncos. My busted player of the week is going to be Russell Wilson, who's going to be rushing for about 600 yards, trying to avoid the rush and having those big 4 guys up front following him all the time. My bust-out player, I'd like to take the Titans defense. Is that a possibility, taking the Titans defense rather than Henry? Because I think they're going to be my bust-out.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm taking the Titans defense as the bust-out. I think they're going to score probably double-digit points between the sacks and the turnovers they're going to be able to produce from the Broncos. Tom?
Yeah, I got to take the Titans here. I don't care if the Broncos come back off a bye week. I expect Danger Russ to get sacked 4 or 5 times, throw a pick or 2 or 7. It doesn't matter. Mel Gordon, Lat Murray, Chase Edmonds, they're not going to be able to run against this team. Maybe they can throw some to Sutton, to Judy, to Dolchitz. I don't know. But it's going to come down to King Henry. He's my bust out. 102 means a Titans win. Anything else means that the Broncos have enough time to come back, but I don't think it'll be enough. I'll go ahead and bust Russ.
Tobin?
Titans, King H, and Russ.
So Rush gets
for reasons already mentioned.
Rush gets the
only thing that Russ might have going for him is if you watch the Mahomes tape and how they play that 3 heavy to the side and then put the catcher over there. Russ is a little bit quicker.
Okay, that was something Tennessee hadn't shown before the season, before that game.
Yeah.
Tennessee knew something was going on, is why they went to that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they deploy that. I think Russ could hurt them more than Mahomes did on the ground, but I'm still going to bust him because I think he's going to have his marbles scrambled back there a few times.
Oh, yeah.
Tobin, Lions at the Bears.
Good God, do they have to play this game?
Yep.
It's in Chicago. I'm taking Bears. I think they're starting to figure things out a little bit on offense, as we saw in the game with Miami last week. I like what I see from Fields. I think we might be seeing something develop here, especially on a fantasy side. The NFL side, he's got a little bit further to go, but from a fantasy standpoint, holy crap, he's got the potential to put up some huge numbers.
It's just the talent around him's not good enough to help him win.
If they can get him a couple more weapons on the outside, I mean, the backs are serviceable. Komet's not bad, but they need a wideout. They need Claypool to develop into what they gave up a second rounder for and get one more piece. But I'm taking Fields for the bust out, and I'm going with his counterpart as the busted. I think Goff is just fading fast. We'll say that.
Okay. Well, I'm agreeing with Tobin. I'm taking the Bears to win the game. If it was at Detroit, I'd take Detroit. Since it's at natural turf, slows them down. Gonna be tough. My bust out is going to be Jamal Williams, the running back for the Lions, who I think is going to score at least a touchdown and probably have about 75 to 80 yards, which is good production for a running back in this game. My busted player of the week is Goff. I hate to say it, but Goff has reached his peak, and he will not be the quarterback for them next year, even after early in the year saying he'd earned a contract early in the year. Now he hasn't. That's why they don't give him after 4 or 5 games. Tom?
Yeah, I think that's very funny that you say that. Of course, I just went back and watched a couple of past episodes where you were so adamant that Goff was going to get a mid-level type extension and all this stuff. So to hear you backtrack, that's amusing to me.
He's running for office. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
I think that if Goff comes out and produces and plays in this game, he'll probably get that mid-level. He will be back on board to get that. I just don't think it's going to happen right now. Number one, they're not healthy enough offensively. He doesn't really have any weapons out there. They traded Hawkinson away. Who's the starting wide receivers?
Amon-Ra, who's
still
Raymond.
limited. Khalif Raymond, who probably shouldn't be starting for most teams.
No, he shouldn't be. Yeah, I mean, what's happening is the Lions winning last week just screwed up their draft order. You know, they're probably compound it here. Like you said, if it was in Detroit, I'd take them to win this. But since it's outdoors in Chicago and the home road splits for Jeff Goff are horrible. I mean, he's half as good on the road as he is at home.
Yeah, he's the Amari Cooper of the road.
Yeah, bad. I like DeAndre Swift here a little bit better, actually, because they'll be on grass instead of the hard concrete indoors, and he might actually get to play more this week. Justin Fields is a bust out. He's must start after being the number 1 QB for the week last week. My busted is got to be Jared Goff. He's not good outdoors. I hope to God for his sake they come out and make this a score fest just like last week.
Okay. Tom, Browns at the Dolphins.
Oh, this is Dolphins all the way. I mean, the Browns got Deshaun. The Dolphins wanted him. Right now, the Dolphins have made the better moves and are playing better. I still love Nick Chubb. I like Amari Cooper in this because the Dolphins defense has shown they can't stop anybody. But I'm curious if the Browns can slow down Tyreek and Waddle at all, because right now nobody seems to be able to do that. I'll go ahead and bust out Tyreek again. Might just be my bust out until further notice was in the Dolphins games.
I mean, his average is like 7 and 150.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's an average week.
Average, yeah.
Yeah. For the Browns, my busted, I'll go ahead and busted Jacoby Brissett. I just don't think he can get it done here. I don't think he's talented enough.
Okay, Tobin.
I've got the Fins up again at home. We're starting to get into that cool cold weather place versus the heat and humidity side of it. That discrepancy is going to play in a little bit more too. But the Dolphins just have too many weapons for them at the end of the day. I'm going to bust out Waddle. I think Tyreek just gives him so much cover that he's the guy that's going to go for 9 for 110, 120, and 1 a lot, just because Tyreek's going for 7 and 150, and you got to pay so much attention. My busted, I'm going to go Cooper, and mainly because of what Tommy took Brissett, and I don't think Brissett can get the ball to Cooper enough. I think the Dolphins finally have a pass rusher in bringing Chubb in.
Chubb is there.
And so now they don't have to blitz to get pressure on a quarterback, which is a huge difference now when you're starting to try and actually cover and defend in the secondary. So I'm going to go Cooper as the busted there.
The only reason I go Brissett there is because this is a Stafford Cup situation.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper's going to get, if Brissett has 170 yards, 120 of it's going to Cooper.
I agree, but I don't know if he breaks 100 in this game.
Okay. Well, I'm taking the Browns. I think the Browns have hopefully figured out the magic formula, hand the ball to Chubb and see what happens. Because if they do, good things always happen. My bust out's going to be Chubb. I think Chubb's probably going to run for 130 and 1, maybe even 2 at this point in time, as the only way that they can be in this game is to ball control, which means hand the ball to Chubb and let him run. My busted player of the week is going to be the Dolphins defense. I don't think they can stop Chubb.
Tommy, I'm going to flag this one. So this time next week, about an hour before this, we're going to hear Doc bitching and moaning about the Browns giving him 16 touches again. Just
yeah, it'll be this again.
Flag it because they're going to have to. They're going to be behind. They're going to have to throw the ball.
But they're going to have to hand the ball to him in the first half to be in the game. If they do that, they can control the clock. If they do that, then we'll see what happens with the rest of the game.
I mean, that really could be the only way they have a chance to win this.
Only shot. They've got to almost 2-1 them on time of possession to have a chance in this.
And the only way to do that's ball control with Chubb getting the ball.
I don't think they can do it.
Okay, Tobin, Jags at the Chiefs.
Chop them up, baby. The Chiefs all the way. Chiefs by 1 million. I think it's 9.5 is the number. That might be a little steep still. I like them at home. Juju is my bust out. Mark it down. The dude has had 3 weeks in a row where he's figured out Kelsey 2.0, basically. Find your way to get into that soft zone, catch the ball, turn up field, and go. And he's as athletic, if not more, than TK. So he's kind of giving them that second tight end from the wideout. He had his worst game this last week, and he went for what?
10 for 86.
Yeah, and that was his worst of the last 3. Jags defense is going to be in trouble here. My busted, I've got Spicoli. Welcome to Arrowhead, son. It's gonna, they're coming for you. He's gonna be wishing. His ears are going to be ringing until Tuesday.
More than likely, yes. I don't disagree. I'm taking the Chiefs to win the game because quite frankly, they would beat the Jags was at New Orleans, at Jacksonville, at London, or on the moon. They're the more talented team. They're going to win going away. My bust out player of the week is going to be Mahomes. He's going to probably throw for 350. Going to be an interesting game. My busted, if you're going to shut the Jaguars down, what do you have to do? You have to take ATN away. I think it's going to be ATN just because that's who Kansas City is going to focus on taking away. And Spicoli, like you call him, is going to be running for his life at this point in time. Tom?
Yeah, I'd say if you're listening to us on the radio, get ready to hear Mitch Holta say, "Touchdown, Kansas City."
Just put that on repeat.
Multiple times.
I'm guessing Etienne and a wide receiver could be okay for the Jags, but good luck picking which one. For the Chiefs, it's going to be Pat, TK, and one of these running backs. I don't know if it'll be CEH or Pacheco will do well. And like Tobin said, I really like Juju right now.
So pick one.
I'm gonna pick TK, just because I guarantee he'll have 100 yards, possibly a touchdown. Probably a touchdown because I'm not going to bet him on an anytime touchdown scorer this week for the first time in 3 weeks.
Perfect. I'll load up.
And you're busted? Yeah, exactly. You got to cut him too so we can pick him up. Because if you cut him, I guarantee he's going to go off.
My busted, I'm going to pick Etienne as my busted. I think that they're going to come in geared to stop him and say, Trevor Lawrence, knock yourself out. See if you can keep up with us.
Etienne is no Derrick Henry. And outside of that, the Chiefs' run defense has looked pretty damn good so far this year.
Mm-hmm. Don't disagree. Okay, next game, Texas at the Giants. I'm going to go first. I'm going to take the Giants. As much as it pains me to say that.
The Gigantes.
Yeah, they're going to win it. The bust-out player of the week is going to be Barkley. Barkley's probably going to run for 170. It's going to be Barkley right, Barkley left, Barkley up the middle, Barkley everywhere. My busted is going to be Pierce from the Texans. That's the only weapon they have. You take him away, load the box. Daboll's smart enough to figure out a way to take him away, and that's what he's going to do. Tom?
Yeah, I got to go Giants here. I mean, there are two teams I thought would be battling for the top draft pick, and instead the Giants are battling for the top wild card.
That kills you to pick them, doesn't it?
Oh, God.
I can just see the pain on your face.
I hate the Giants. I don't know what it is about them. I mean, I hate the Cowboys, but nothing like I hate the Giants. They're just like...
What's the one good thing about the Giants?
They're in New York, and I hate every other team from New York there, too.
You were supposed to channel your inner Seth. What's the best thing about the Giants?
I don't know.
The owner's daughter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I do love Rooney and Kate Mara. Oh, they are both hot little things. Yes.
Bouncing. Fan him off over there, will you, Doc?
Who's your busted out? Who's your bust out?
My bust out is
besides your zipper
is Saquon.
Maybe.
Saquon is, like you
Doubt
said,
it.
he's going to run off here and just absolutely destroy the Texans. I'm going to take Davis Mills.
I knew you were going to take Mills.
I can't take Pierce even though he's injured because the Giants can't stop the run either. They let Lamar and the Ravens run all over him.
Well, Lamar runs all over everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, Kenyon Drake went 10 for 119 and a touchdown against him.
That is true. Tobin, who you taking?
Gigantes all the way, not by a million, but Gigantes. Barkley is the consensus breakout. The Texans don't even pretend to stop the run.
Well, I mean, a million is like 24-3 in this game.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, what is the number in this one? That actually might be a good one to look
Plus
at.
16.
It's 40.5. Oh, hell, I'm jumping all over that under. Giants by 5, 40.5. I like that under. Yeah, Giants. Barkley's going to go bananas, but I mean, it's a running ball control. I mean, that's what Daboll wants to do. That he manages the games well, and he puts Dimes in position to not have to do everything. Puts him in a position to succeed. So, busted Davis Mills. I mean, he's a smart guy. He's a Stanford guy, but he just has nothing around him. I think Pierce will do enough against that Giants offense to not be the busted. So Mills is busted.
It would be interesting to see what Mills would be able to do if he had any weapons around him. Considering the fact, coming out of high school, he was the number one recruit in college.
Oh, it's
went to Stanford. So the kid has talent. It's just a matter of the people around him not being able to highlight that talent.
I mean, it goes back to, the Colts. If the Colts had Davis Mills, they'd be in a much better situation.
Oh, I don't disagree.
I mean, the Texans are 1-6-1. I mean, that tie might screw them on the draft pick, but they're going to be picking high.
Okay, Tom, Saints at the Steelers.
Yeah, I got to go with the Saints here. I don't care if it's Andy Dalton coming back to Pittsburgh this time as a Saint, where Pittsburgh routinely beat his ass into the ground. The Saints' overall team is just so much better than the Steelers right now. The Steelers are young. I'm going to bust Kenny Pickett here. I think Cam Jordan's going to sit on his head about 6 times. And by the end of the game, he'll just be like, screw it. This just isn't worth it. My bust out, I'm going to go ahead and go Olave here. They're not going to have William Jackson, who they traded for, back. He's got still has his back injury. They're not stopping anything through the air, and I think that's the only way that they're going to be able to get after Pittsburgh.
Okay, Tobin.
I've got the Saints winning this one. I just don't think Pittsburgh can score enough. I mean, it's not going to be a shootout by any means, but I see this could be 20-17 or 20-10, something like that. Bust out. I'm going to go Kamara. I think he's just got too much speed and elusiveness. I think they're going to find a way to get him in space and pop him off for a couple. I don't think there'll be a couple big plays. I think what I see from him there. Busted. I've got Pickett. I mean, young quarterback, Saints defense. Tommy already talked about Jordan. They may be getting healthy on the back end of that defense. It sounds like this week too. They were missing some guys last week and still pulled it off, and kept it close with the Ravens. So,
okay. Well,
now there is some hope that TJ Watt could return this week. That could turn the game a little bit and make it more competitive, but I still think the Saints win.
I'm taking the Steelers at home. I think the Steelers coming off are going to be able to put enough defense out there. I think the busted player of the week is going to be Andy Dalton, who's going to throw a pick six at least once. I think he's going to get his headset on quite a few times by the Pittsburgh defense as he does blitz him to death.
Oh, it's pick six all over Andy Dalton.
Yep. And I think the bust out player of the week is going to be Najee Harris. I think he's going to make an appearance. This is the one game that he's going to make the appearance for, get probably about 80 yards and a touchdown, probably 6 or 7 catches out of the backfield. He hasn't been playable so far this year. I think this is the one game where he is. Tobin, next game, Colts with the Raiders. Who you taking, baby?
it pains me to say it, but I'm going to pick the damn Raiders. This is the turd in the punch bowl this week as far as games go. How they think this one's going to get to 42.5, I have no clue. It's going to have to be. And I'm not even sure these quarterbacks could hit the defense. So we'll see. That'll be. Can we start counting those as completions? My bust out, I'm going to go Jacobs. I think this is going to be one of those games where he puts up some stupid numbers on the ground. Busted, I'm going to go rookie quarterback Ellinger again. Saturday, I already made the announcement that he was going to stick with him. You've got an assistant QB coach who looks like he's about 15, is going to be calling the plays for the first time now since Reich's gone.
Well, somebody described him on Twitter as looking like that guy from your fantasy football league.
Yeah, the dude that never wins, too. 100%. I mean, we're talking dude.
Great description.
And dude looks like he's been to IHOP a couple times. So
I resemble that remark.
I'm just saying there's a chance that somebody in this room could be on an NFL sideline, and there's given all of us hope, folks, that this could happen. But Raiders, Jacobs, Ellinger's busted. Not going to be as bad as last week against the Patriots, but
ditto for me with Tobin's. Tom?
Yeah.
Not even close.
It's the Raiders all the way. They're going to get way over 42.5 because they're going to put it on them. Jacobs, I think, gets back to one of those Jacobs games because they'll be so far ahead. They'll just run him to death and he'll run away from him.
This might be the game where you see Zamir White come out and get a little bit of activity in the second half too. Yeah.
Because Jacobs is,
that's the future
the ball
there.
25 times. It's time to rest you for this game.
We'll keep advised here if JT does play. If JT plays, that's really easily how they get to 42 because he can bust off a run or two and score a couple of touchdowns that get the Colts side up.
I'm going with they're going to err on the side of caution with him is the way my thinking is. So I've got him probably sitting another one, and
at least one.
They're not going to score 10 without him.
Yeah, I'll bust Ellinger. I don't think he's going to do anything except for.
Hey, so we're in agreement on the trifecta for all three.
Throw sixes, pick sixes, and
I love it. We just screwed the Raiders. That's
Raiders
awesome.
are absolutely screwed at this point in time.
Okay. All right, everybody, that's it for the bonus segment. Thanks for listening to both sides. We appreciate it, and we'll see everybody next week.